everybody, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Brian.
And we are Cooking with the Codas.
I'm a finance guy with no cooking experience.
And I'm a registered dietitian with professional culinary training.
And together, we're going to teach you and me how to cook in the kitchen.
So today we are making a Chinese-inspired dish. We are making spring rolls.
Love.
So this is a very light dish. You can either make it as an appetizer or have it as an entree. We're doing it as an entree today because we're going to add some extra protein in here, so it'll really fill you up and give you a balanced meal.
That sounds delicious. Let's check out our mise en place. All right, so we have our mise en place.
Everything in its place. So we have a lot of stuff on this board, but I don't want it to intimidate you because we'll kind of walk you through it all. So on this main section of the table, we have the main ingredients we're using for the spring rolls. We have our rice paper wrappers. So this is very key for this dish. These are made from a rice flour. These are hard right now, but we'll show you how to cook them.
They kind of look like a tortilla, except the Chinese version.
And we also have vermicelli noodles. So this is another rice ingredient. These are rice noodles, and they're very, very thin. So we wanted to add these to our spring rolls to bulk them up a little because, again, we're making this as a meal. We have shrimp. We're using shrimp as one of our protein sources, and we're gonna cook these and show you how to deshell them. We have a lot of different vegetables here.
And you can also kind of pick and choose which ones you want in which to determine the exact flavor profile that you're looking for with each roll that you make.
Yeah, and speaking of flavor, we have Thai basil, mint, and cilantro. These are very traditional in spring rolls, so we want to add them to our meal. But again, you can pick and choose whichever ones you want for yourself. And finally, in the center here, we have a lot of ingredients for some of the sauces that we're going to be making. We're going to be making 2 different sauces for you today. We're making a peanut sauce as well as a spicy chili sauce. So,
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
With a little hint of sweetness. So we're excited to bring this to you, so let's get started. So we heated our water to a simmer, then we took it off the heat, and to this hot water, we added our vermicelli noodles. So we had them soaking for about 3 minutes and they look perfect. So we're actually gonna take these off and we're gonna drain these and run some cold water over them so they stop cooking. If you're wanting to use shrimp for your spring rolls, you can just boil the raw shrimp. We still have the outer shell on it, but we're gonna cook it with it and then peel it off after. So we have our shrimp. We already drained them, and we're going to actually just add it to ice and water to shock the shrimp. So that way they stop cooking immediately so we don't overcook them and cause them to be too tough.
I don't know about you, but I am shocked right now as well.
We'll let this sit in here for, I'd say, a couple minutes, and then we're going to peel them.
All right, so we have our shocked shrimp, and it's not just because they're dead now, but we are going to start peeling them. An easy way to do this, so you can just peel the outer shell from the shrimp like this. The outer shell comes off super easily, and this one actually almost pulled off the tail. When the tail's a little bit harder to get off, what you can do that's super easy is you pinch. If you pinch the end just before this flat part of the tail, if you pinch this, you can usually pinch it right off, and there's minimal meat lost in the end of this tail, and we still get to enjoy all that end tail meat that was in there. So we're just gonna peel these.
And what I'm doing over here is I'm just slicing them in half lengthwise, so kind of like filleting them. So some of these shrimps may still have some veins in the back here. They're along the ridge. We already have pretty clean ones that we bought, so this isn't an issue for us, but just check that with yours.
You can also buy shrimp that has been deshelled already, but we like to save money and these were cheaper. And another easy way too, if you'll notice sometimes, if you try to pinch this end too, sometimes the casing will come right off. It could be smart to try to pinch first and ask questions later.
So now we're gonna be making one of our sauces. This sauce is a sweet and spicy chili sauce. As we're getting ready for this to boil, we're gonna get our slurry mixture together. So we have our teaspoon of cornstarch here, and we're gonna add some of this liquid to the cornstarch and mix it together. That way, when we're thickening our sauce, it doesn't cause clumps from the cornstarch. It's all mixed in. So it'll take just a few minutes for this to boil. There's not a lot of liquid in here, so it will work fairly quickly. And in order for the cornstarch to be activated to thicken this sauce, it needs to be at a boil. So don't add this slurry until you see a boil. And there we have it, it's boiling. So we're gonna add this in.
Hot Pockets.
And it's already working. So once this does come back to a boil, you can turn off the heat and let it sit until you're ready to use it.
So now we're going to make our peanut sauce, which is pretty easy to make. We just have a handful of ingredients.
What I want to point out here, when you're using ingredients such as peanut butter or honey that are kind of sticky, using some nonstick cooking spray and spraying whatever you're measuring that ingredient in really helps so it doesn't stick to the utensil or like a measuring cup. So what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna do a quick spray. And now when he's adding the peanut butter, it's not gonna stick to the spoon as much.
Hey, that's good to know, thank you.
So 2 tablespoons of peanut butter.
It's still sticking, but it's sticking less. My wife said I'm making a mess, but what else is new? All right, so with our sauces done, we're gonna go ahead and get wrapping.
So again, we have our rice paper here.
You can also try taking multiple, putting them together, and it makes a nice frisbee. I don't know how well it would float, but it could be good to attempt it.
And then the second it hits water, it's gonna get all mushy. So
it's really more of a dry activity. It's less fun playing in the rain anyway.
So right here we do have very warm water. We just used tap water that now is not clean.
That hurts. She acts like I haven't washed my hands. I've washed them 1,000 times during Corona. It's a lot.
So we have our dry rice paper. All we're gonna do is put it in the water for about 5 seconds. 5 seconds is all you need.
It's been 5 seconds!
So you're gonna take it out. It may not be completely flimsy yet, but
Flip it.
nope.
We don't.
You're gonna put it on here and just lay it flat here. And then we're gonna start adding our fillings. For my first one, I'm going to start with red bell pepper. I'm gonna use some cucumber.
Or as Jamaicans say, cucumba.
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 And then I'm going to add my rice noodles. I'm just gonna put a pretty hefty layer here.
It's a nice way to bulk up the spring roll.
Yeah, and getting some carbs on this is perfectly fine. So I have my herbs. I put in my basil, mint, and cilantro. And then for your shrimp, I'm gonna lay it in front of this mound of vegetables and noodles because I want this to look very presentable, and having the shrimp in the front here looks really nice.
Even if it's only presenting it to ourselves and our stomachs.
So first you're going to tightly wrap over the vegetable mixture. And then you're gonna wrap the sides over so they stay nice and tight. And then over the shrimp. And there you have it. Brian, would you like to go next?
Now you get to see how bad mine looks compared to how professional hers looks. All right, so we have our rolls completed, and we have our peanut sauce as well as our sweet and spicy sauce, and we are ready to eat these.
So these are a great meal that you can have in the summertime.
Or you can spring into spring with a nice spring roll.
Either way, they're a great option for you. And I want to emphasize, you can put whatever you want into these. If you want to put chicken, if you want to put beef, if you don't want to put any kind of meat or seafood at all, the options are endless. But I just want you to know how simple and quick they are, and take it into your own hands with whatever you want to put into it. But either way, you're getting a nice light meal and it looks beautiful. So I hope that you experiment, try this out, and have fun with it.
Well, thanks again for watching this week's episode of Cooking with Dakotas. We'll see you next time. Have a great week. Thanks again for watching this week's episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe below.